If you want unshakable, bulletproof confidence, it starts with welcome the emotions of uncomfort, welcome the emotions of embarrassment in order to allow it and let it be dissolved in that space of infinite light and void. The real source to unspeakable confidence from the silence, from the void. Why is that? Well, because your ego, mind identity cannot stand anything unsorted, anything undefinable. And whenever there is a gap of silence, a gap of void, these are the moments when you are the closest to align with the infinite, with the source that you come from, the I am beyond the ego's limitation, the I am beyond the ego's constant strive to try to compartmentalize you and everything you are experiencing. And that is the reason why the ego cannot stand silence, because it is a threat to its whole existence. Without identification, the ego cannot exist. And in the void of silence, the portals of the present moment, that is where the ego is at least charged. That is when the usage of your mind slows down and stops running on autopilot. These are the times that you recognize something familiar to what we call flow state, or serenity, or pure enthusiasm, beyond explanation, beyond reasons. It's a sensation. And your ego is always trying to grab that energy and transform it into data, into a new program that your ego can operate. And this same void of silence is the same threat to your ego. That's why it's project these emotions of shame, where these are the moments when you feel like you are talking, you are rambling, you are trying to provide answers. You cannot stand the void, and that is a sign that your ego is at work. But if you learn how to lean in to the silence, lean in to the embarrassment, even if you feel like your cheeks are blushing, you can lean into that and say to yourself, or rather just feel, hey, yeah, this is my ego trying to take command over my body, trying to make me use my mind and do and act and say something to take me away from this portal of connection with my higher self, with my inner self. So if you want unshakable, bulletproof confidence, it starts with welcome the emotions of shame, welcome the emotions of uncomfort, welcome the emotions of uncomfort, welcome the emotions of embarrassment, in order to allow it and let it be dissolved in that space of infinite light and void. So the next time you find yourself, maybe you are asked a question on stage or at work in a meeting, and you start to feel your heart race and you start to feel warm in your face, take a deep breath and lean into the silence. Lean in to the silence, because what you do is that you, instead of taking demands from your intellect, from your mind, to respond as quick as possible, you do the opposite. You are not taking orders from your mind. You are letting silence speak. You are letting silence become your sacred ground, a space where you can root and connect with the source of the infinite, with the source of your true I am. And then you can start to use your mind and maybe respond. And this is not about pausing before you're using your mind only, and then afterwards feel like, yeah, but that didn't go. And then what I mean by that is not about directly after this beautiful divine practice, not immediately go back to your mind again and feel like, okay, but now I did this practice, but I didn't come up with some clever to say anyway. Well, that's the point. The point is not to come up with something clever. The point is to start to trust yourself. And what that basically means on a much deeper level, trusting yourself, is not trusting the creations of your mind, but rather trust that you can always find and connect with your inner spirit, with your true essence. I love to hear from you. Let me know if this is something that you have done or practiced for yourself or something similar to it, or if you haven't, if this is something that you are willing to try. Let me know. Let me know how I can serve you. Okay, if you watch this video till the end, you see that I have made a screen recording while creating this for you. And this has more reasons to it than just to capture my ideas and reuse them as content to provide you more, to expand from this. It is also one way that I use to calm down myself, because I love to be this super excited version of me. I love that. And I will allow myself to step into that version of me when I feel like it. But speaking from experience, long before I understood about the ego-mind identity, I could sometimes feel that super fast-paced, super excited, positive version of me was a limitation, was an identity of mine. Because whenever I didn't feel like that version, whenever I didn't feel aligned with that version, I had trouble showing up. And this is just one practice. I want you to know this, that no matter what practice that we use, adopt, and apply, we are not depending on them. We should not let them become new habits of ours, so much so that we start to forget that we were the ones that installed the habit in the first place consciously. So whatever practice you apply, remember that practices are just different sceneries, different tools and instruments that you have stored in your library of magnificent formulas of magic, and you have the ownership on when and where to apply them. That is my gentle reminder to you regarding any strategies, tools, or practices. If you feel like this pointed you to something within you, that this was the signpost that you needed to remember something, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.